Picture this, it's spring, and you've done everything right. You bought good healthy starts, you set them out careful, you watered them faithful, and you planted them into a fresh bag of potting soil you paid good money for at the store. And then you waited, and nothing happened. The plants just sat there. They didn't die exactly. They just sulked and yellowed and refused to grow, week after week, and you stood there looking at them wondering what on earth you did wrong. Here's what I want you to know, right at the start, because you've carried it long enough. It was not you. You did nothing wrong. The trouble was in the bag. I want you to stop and think about this for a second, because there's a quiet trick being played, and once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. That bag of soil isn't what it used to be, and it isn't what it looks like, and it isn't even the size it used to be. The companies have found 3 ways to give you less and charge you more, and the worst of the 3 doesn't just cheat your wallet. It actively starves your plants, and they're counting on one thing above all, that you won't know the difference, and that you'll blame yourself, and that you'll come back next spring and buy another bag. Now that's a new dressing on a very old trick. There was a time a person made their own growing soil out of what the land and the barn gave them, and knew exactly what was in it because they put it there. And when folks stopped making it and started buying it, they handed over that knowing. And once you don't know what good soil even is, why? A company can sell you a bag of near enough anything and call it garden soil, and how would you ever tell? That's the whole game. So let me hand you that knowing back. Let me tell you who I am. My name is Jacob Miller. I'm an Amish farmer out in the Holmes County settlement here in Ohio, and my wife is Rebecca. And I'll say a fair word before I say a hard one, the way I always try to. I'll not stand here and tell you every bag on every shelf is a cheat, because that wouldn't be true or fair. There's honest soil still to be had, but a great deal of the cheap stuff has gone bad in the ways I'm about to show you, and the trouble is, you cannot tell the good from the bad by the price or the picture on the front. You've got to know what to look for. So this isn't me telling you to be angry. It's me teaching you to see. Once you can see it, they can't fool you. And better still, you'll not need them at all, because I'll show you how to make your own. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, if you like learning the old ways of doing things, do 2 small things for me. Tap that like button down there. It helps this little channel more than you'd ever guess. And subscribe so you can keep learning right alongside Rebecca and me. That's all I'll ask. Now, let's dig in. Here's how it'll go. First, the shrinking bag. Then the trick they play on the label. Then the diabolical one, the filler that starves your plants and why it does it, which is the most important of all. Then how to spot bad soil with your own 2 hands. Then how to fix a bag you've already got. And last, how to make your own and be done with the whole racket for good. Let's start with the simplest trick, because it sets up all the rest. The bag got smaller and the price didn't. It used to be that a big bag of potting soil held 2 cubic feet. Go and look now, and you'll find a great many of them hold 1.5 cubics, a full quarter less soil, sitting on the same shelf at the same price or dearer. Same looking bag near enough, same big letters on the front, a quarter less inside, and they're clever about how the bag looks too. Puffed up with air so it seems as full and fat as it ever did, so nothing at all catches your eye. That's the whole art of the shrinking trick. They don't want you to feel cheated, so they make sure it never looks like less, even as it becomes less. You'd have to be holding last year's bag right up next to this year's to notice a thing. And who does that? Nobody keeps a year-old empty sack to measure against, so it slips right by year after year, a little smaller each time, and you paying a little more. Now on its own, that's just the old shrinking trick, the same one they play on the coffee tin in the cereal box. Annoying, but you could live with it. The trouble is it's only the first of 3, and it's the gentlest. Keep it in mind, and let's go on to the next. Here's where it stops being cheeky and starts being sly. Some of them have taken to selling you the soil in a measure meant to confuse you, and then hiding the real size. I'll give you the plainest example I know of. A bag comes along marked in great big proud letters on the front, and then, down in a corner, in print so small you'd need to hunt for it, it tells you the true amount, 25 quarts. Now here's why that's sly. Most folks think in the big measure, cubic feet, and 25 quarts sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But 25 quarts is only about 4/5 of a single cubic foot. So a bag that at a glance you'd take for one of the big ones is, in truth, not even a third the size of the old 2 cubic foot bag you remember, and they've printed the honest number so small, in a measure so unfamiliar, that you'll never do the sum standing in the aisle. That's the lesson of this one, and hold on to it. The big letters are there to impress you, and the true size is hidden in the small ones. So when you pick up a bag, don't read the front. Turn it and hunt for the small print and find the real measure. They're counting on you not to look. Look. Now here's the one that earns that word in the title, and it's a world worse than the other two, because the others only cheat your wallet, and this one reaches right into your garden and starves what you're trying to grow. So hear this part close. It's the heart of the whole thing. To make the bag cheap to fill, a great deal of the soil is no longer soil at all. It's wood, bark and sawdust and chipped up wood waste, ground down and dyed dark to look like rich earth. You open the bag and it looks fine, near enough, dark and crumbly, but a good part of what's in there is just chewed up wood dressed to pass for soil. Now why is that so bad? Not because wood is poison, it isn't. It's because of a thing that happens when raw wood begins to rot. And this is the part I most want you to understand, because once you do, half the mysteries of a poor garden come clear at once, and not just this one. It's the same reason fresh wood chips can stunt a bed, and the same reason a pile of sawdust dug into good ground will set it back a year. Learn it once, and you'll carry it everywhere. Here it is. When wood breaks down in the soil, it does not break down by itself. It's the tiny living things in the soil that rot it down for you. And to do that work, those little organisms need nitrogen, and there's next to none in the wood itself. So they pull it out of the soil around them. They take the nitrogen, the very thing your plant needs most of all to grow green and strong, and they lock it up in themselves to do the work of rotting that wood. And while they've got it, your plant can't have it. The wood, as it rots, robs the soil of nitrogen and holds it hostage. So you plant your seedling into that bag, and there simply isn't any nitrogen left free for it to eat, because the wood and the little rotters have taken it all. And the plant does exactly what a starving plant does. It sits there and it yellows, and it will not grow, no matter how faithfully you water it. It isn't sick. It isn't your fault. It's hungry, and the bag is the reason. That is the diabolical trick. They sold you a bag that eats the food right out from under your plants, and then let you blame yourself when nothing grew. Now that you know what they're doing, let me give you the ways to catch it. Some at the store, and some at home, with nothing but your own eyes and hands. At the store, turn the bag over and read the small print. Find the true size in its real measure, and do the sum, and you'll know in a moment whether you're getting soil or getting air. And read what it's made of, if it'll tell you. The honest bags will name their parts, and if the first thing on the list is forest products or some such soft word, know that forest products is a polite way of saying wood, and lift 2 bags. Here's a simple test that costs you nothing at all. Heft one bag, then another. A bag that's heavy for its size is likely honest soil and compost, for real earth and real compost have a good weight to them. A bag that feels surprisingly light for how big it is, that lifts too easy, has a great deal of wood and air in it, and little of substance. You needn't read a word to do this one. Your own 2 hands will tell you a good deal the label never will. At home, look at it and feel it. Good growing soil is dark and crumbly, and it holds together damp without going to mud. Tip some out and rub it between your fingers. If it's full of splinters and stringy shreds and chips of wood, if it looks more like the floor of a sawmill than the floor of a forest, you've found the filler. And here's a plainer test yet. Wet a handful and let it sit a few days. Soil that's mostly wood will often grow a fuzz of mold on it, or throw up mushrooms, because it is mostly wood, and that's what wood does when it's wet. Good soil won't do that. Now suppose you're standing there with a bag you already bought, full of woody stuff, and you don't want to throw your money in the ditch? You needn't. You can fix it, and here's how. The whole trouble, remember, is that the rotting wood is stealing the nitrogen. So the fix is simple. Put the nitrogen back and put in some real life besides. First, mix in good compost, a third near enough by bulk. Well-rotted compost or aged manure brings back the real living soil the wood is missing, and it carries nitrogen of its own. Then feed it nitrogen and keep feeding it, because here's the thing. The wood will go right on stealing that nitrogen for a good long while, yet as it slowly rots down, so one feeding won't hold you. Any of the free feeds I've shown you before will do the job. A good weed tea, or the soured water off your rice, or well-aged manure tea, or the liquid gold, every one of them watered down proper first. You're not feeding it just the once and walking away. You're keeping a little coming, steady, all season long, so there's always more nitrogen arriving than the wood can rob. Stay ahead of it, and your plants never go hungry. Do that, and the bag that would have starved your plants will grow them well instead, because you've given back exactly the thing that was being stolen. You've turned a cheat into decent soil with a shovelful of compost and a bit of your own free feed. But here's the real answer, the one that ends the whole business for good. Stop buying it and make your own. It's no hard thing, and once you've done it a time or two, you'll never look at those bags again. Good growing soil is really only three things doing three jobs, and you can mix them yourself. Something to hold water and stay light and fluffy. The old standby is peat, and coconut coir does the same job well. Either one keeps the mix from packing down hard and holds the damp so the roots can drink between waterings. Something to let it breathe and drain. A good handful of coarse sand or grit, or the little white puffs of perlite if you've got them. This keeps air down among the roots and lets the extra water run off so nothing sits and rots. And something alive to feed it. This is the very heart of it, so don't skimp here. Good, finished compost, and well-aged manure. This is exactly the part the cheap bags leave out and paper over with dyed wood. The real, living, feeding part. The part with all the goodness and all the little life in it. The other two just hold the water and let it breathe. This is the part that actually grows your plant. Put in a good, generous share of it. Mix those three in rough thirds. Something to hold the water, something to let it breathe, and a good share of living compost to feed it. And you've made yourself a growing soil better than near anything in a bag for a fraction of the cost. And you know exactly what's in it because you put it there. And it doesn't shrink in the night, and it doesn't hide its size in small letters, and it never once steals the food from your plants. Let me run it back for you plain. They shrank the bag and kept the price, so hold this year's next to last year's in your mind, and don't be fooled by a puffed-up sack. They hid the true size in tiny print in an odd measure. So turn the bag over, find the small number, and do the sum. And the diabolical one. They filled it with dyed wood that robs the nitrogen your plants live on and leaves them starving. So learn to spot the splinters and the sawmill look, lift the bag and feel it too light, and wet a handful and watch for mold. If you've bought a bad bag, fix it with a third-part compost and keep it fed with a free nitrogen tea all season. And best of all, make your own, out of something to hold water, something to breathe, and a good share of living compost. And be done with the whole racket. And here's what that gives you. Plants that actually grow, green and strong and up and away, the way they were always meant to, instead of sitting there yellow and sulking in a bag of dressed-up sawdust while you stand over them blaming your own poor thumb. And your soil costing you a fraction of what those bags do, and you knowing every single thing that went into it because your own hands put it there. That's a peace of mind no bag on any shelf can sell you. Now let me tell you why this is happening, though by now you've surely guessed. It's the same reason behind every one of these videos. The store makes no more money selling you the good than the bad. In fact, it makes more selling you the bad, for wood chips are cheaper to bag than compost, and a smaller bag is cheaper to fill. There's no profit in an honest bag of real soil sold at an honest price, but there's a fortune in a light bag of dyed sawdust sold as though it were the same thing, to a gardener who's forgotten what good soil even looks like. That's the whole of it. They're not selling you soil. They're selling you the word soil on a bag and hoping you never learn the difference. And here's the honest math. A bag of that cheap woody stuff might run you $10, $12, smaller every year, and it may well starve the very plants you bought it for. So you've lost the soil and the plants and the season. Your own mix, made from coir and grit and your own compost, costs you a fraction of that. Works better, and the compost heart of it, you can grow for nothing out of your own scraps and leaves. There is no contest here, and there never was. Now let me be straight with you about the title, the way I always am. Diabolical. Is that too strong a word? I've thought on it honestly, and I'll tell you where I land. To shrink a bag and keep the price. That's just the common greed we've all grown used to, and I'd not call it diabolical, only shabby. But to fill that bag with a thing that reaches into a person's garden and starves the plants they were trying to grow, and then to let that person believe it was their own poor thumb that failed. That, I think, does earn the word. Not because it's some grand evil, but because it's a cheat aimed square at the trusting and the hopeful, at the very folks just trying to grow a little food and a little beauty. And I'll say the fair thing once more, so you've the whole truth. It is not every bag, and there are honest sellers yet, but you can no longer tell by looking, and so you must know how to see, and better yet, how to make your own. That's the honest shape of it. So here's what I'd have you do this week. It costs nothing, and it changes everything. Next time you're at the store, don't buy a thing yet. Just pick up a bag or two and turn them over. Hunt down the true size in the small print and do the sum. Read what it's made of and see if wood is hiding behind some soft word. Lift it and feel whether it's honest heavy or cheat light. Just look. That's your whole week. And then, if you've a bag at home that let you down last year, go mix a third-part compost into it and feed it and give it another chance. You'll be amazed. And here's the sweetest part. Get the little ones mixing soil with you. There's no better way to teach it. Let them feel the difference between a fistful of real, dark, crumbly compost and a fistful of dyed splinters, and they'll never forget it. Let them measure out the coir and the grit and the compost and stir up a batch of honest soil with their own hands. Because what they're really learning, under all of it, is the thing that matters most, that you needn't just trust what's printed on a bag. You can know a thing for yourself and make it for yourself and never be at the mercy of a clever label again. That'll carry them a long way past the garden. That's how the old knowing comes back. Not out of a book, but one honest handful of soil at a time. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me down in the comments, have you ever planted into a fresh bag of soil and had nothing grow and wondered what you did wrong? Now you know. And what do you mix your own soil from? Share your recipe down there with the rest of us. Those old ways slip away for good when nobody writes them down, and I read every one. So the next time you're standing in the garden aisle, about to trust a big proud bag with your whole season, stop and turn it over and remember what you know now. That bag may hold less than it looks and less than it says, and a good part of what's inside may be dyed up wood that'll quietly rob your plants of the very food they live on. And if nothing grows, they're counting on you to blame your own two hands instead of their bag. But you know better now. You can read the small print and feel the weight and see the splinters. And best of all, you can walk right past the whole shelf and make your own out of something to hold the water, something to breathe, and good living compost to feed it. The good Lord made real soil a thing any person can make with their own hands, and no company can truly own it or hide it from you, unless you forget how. So don't forget. Know what's in your soil, make it yourself, teach the little ones to do the same, and grow more than you need, so you can share the harvest with the people you love.